Oh, we're live, we're live, we're live. Good morning, everyone. I'm just messaging you, Margaret, to say it's 50% cotton and 50% acrylic. She was asking what the makeup of the webbing handles were.
Oh, right.
And now we know. Good morning to you. That's answered that question. And then I got a little message from Josh going, you know you're live, don't you? Oh, yeah. Morning, morning. How are you all? You can see this morning I've had a bit of a fun time having a choppity chop at some fabrics. What happened was Inga and Jane were both delayed with traffic and various things, so I just kept on chopping. And yeah, what can I say?
Beautiful ones this morning. I was like, oh, you've done it all.
They came
like,
in.
look at this, look at this.
And I was just, it was just getting higher and higher. I was like, chop, piling it all up. So I've got half metre heaven pluses, that side, half metre heaven plain, half metre heavens there. Also, for those of you that have started the Baltimore, they are all kitted and ready to go. Gosh, we worked hard cutting all those yesterday, didn't we?
They look lovely, yeah.
Boxing them, getting them all good to go. And as promised, I've put together a not essential but nice to have kit to go with your applique. If you haven't done applique, it's just a few little bits and bobs that I found I needed as I got going. It's not going to break the bank or anything like that. Well, I hope not. Anyway, Gemma's just costing it up for me. To my mind, Gemma, it's not going to break the bank, is it?
Sorry?
What?
Sorry, we've asked you something.
Yeah, the kit. How much is that coming out at? Do we know?
The kit for this one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know, she's just gone, I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out. But I'll show you what's in it. Let's see where everybody is this morning. I need to turn the volume down. Oh, look, there I am live. Whee! You know how I can never find us here?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it's not just here that I can't find things. I was watching one of Lisa's live shows in Australia the other morning because she goes live 5 a.m. our time. So I sometimes dip in and watch her. And I was sat waiting for the show to go live. Looked at my watch. I'm like, it's 5:30. She's really late. What's going on? No. I was sitting there ready for the next day's show.
Bless.
And she must have thought I was really rude because she knew that I was going to watch that morning. And then she's like, where is Natasha? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't tell you that, did I, Lisa? She's going for surgery today, so good luck for that.
Oh,
who else do we have to have shouts out today? John Cole Morgan, a big shout out to you. He's got his first show on Hochanda / the Craft Store today, so good luck with you there. I don't think it's his first ever. I think he's done stuff there before, but it's his first in a long time. Good morning to Linda Wigglesworth. What a great name.
Oh, I love that name.
I love that name. And good morning, Leslie. Oh, now, Leslie, I've got some mats. You said you wanted a mid-size mat, so I bought some. You don't have to buy them, by the way. It's just that I bought them because if you wanted them, there were other people that were going to want them as well. Let's see who else is with us. Colette, that bag. Oh my. If you are not friends with Colette yet, Colette, do you want more friends? Just go and be friends with Colette. I don't know if she's in the market for more friends. She might be like, no, I'm all right, thanks. They say that if you can count your good friends on one hand, you're doing all right. She might be like, I've got my 5. No need for any more, thanks. But otherwise, Colette, post on our page. She made the bag.
Oh, she did.
She made the bag, but she made it with the grey Melba, the grey and pink Melba.
It's stunning. Like designer bag.
I know. I sent it to Lisa. I sent the photos to Lisa and she's like, well, this lady's done bag making before, hasn't she? Look at that. So, yeah, she was pretty impressed. So, well done you. That was beautiful. Good morning, Claire. She said, good morning, Natasha and Jane. Setting you up in the kitchen telly. So, as to relieve the boredom that is washing up.
Yeah. It's one of those jobs, isn't it?
Never ending. It is never ending. Good morning, Kirsty. Just been in the back garden. It's getting really hot already. Yeah, it really is. I sent the dogs out first thing this morning, and when Maud made a dash to try and come in and eat the cat food, and I grabbed her fur was so hot.
Really, already?
Yeah. They've got a mattress in the corner of the garden today. Good morning, Leanne. Feeling warm in Leeds. Poorly little man today, so home. Oh, poor little chap. We had Emily helping us all day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, it was lovely.
That was...
She was cool. She's such a star. She brightens your day. She really does.
She's a character, that's for sure. Good morning, Jane and Natasha. Loving the star cushion. Just as well, Alison, because that is our show today. Do you know what? I might actually pop this over here so we can see it, because otherwise you're just going to see me.
Well, that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, I know, but we're not selling me. Are we?
Oh, no.
No.
Because you're priceless.
No one would want second-hand and used. Morning, Daryl. Morning, Julia. Once again, hoping the internet will keep going. Well, we all do. I mean, we all do.
Where
don't
would
we?
we be without
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Margaret says, thank you, Natasha. That sounds absolutely perfect. As does a wonderful Wednesday with our Star Stitchy Witch Jane.
Oh,
There you
that's
go. You
nice,
can't say
thank
fairer than
you.
that, can you? Morning, Angela. Morning, Steph. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Ali G. And Heather. Good morning from a very sunny South London. Morning, Val. Morning, Grace. Morning, Moira. Good morning, Elizabeth. That's what I call early for a show. Well, it's not early for her, it's evening for her because she's, she's down under. Good morning, Rebecca and Vicky. And Joe, hello. Very drizzly in Snowdonia. Well, you're Wales, aren't you?
Well, we need the water. They
Yeah, but
fill
they're
out
getting the water.
Yeah, but it fills the reservoir that we then use for our water. So
Does it?
Yeah, we're very happy that.
Do we get water from Wales here in the Midlands?
Well, you might not, but we do in
Oh, you
do.
Oh, in
Definitely
Staffordshire.
comes
Well, you're
from there.
different in Staffordshire.
But it's the Midlands, but yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Joe, oh, hello. God, it's like passing notes in school, this, isn't it? Small cushion kits are $24.99. That wasn't what I asked you. Large quilt kits are $36.99. I've been to sleep since then, sorry. It was the applique kits, Gemma, but thanks.
All right, I'll try to make that next.
Is that all right? Okay, isn't it? When Gemma came to work for us, she said, I'm not going to have to do any maths, am I? I'm like, no maths talk.
With your fingers crossed behind your back. Patchwork and quilting and sewing doesn't involve maths whatsoever.
No. Alison says, good morning all, I'm live and watching enthusiastically. I mean, being live helps, doesn't
Yes.
it? Hope my bank balance is still happy by the end of the show. Do you know what? Even if your bank balance isn't, you will be. And that's the
That's what it's
Pam's
about.
on the treadmill again. Go you. Karen says, morning, lovely ladies. Looking forward to this witchy star cushion. It is, John was on the craft store yesterday afternoon and he was brilliant. Not sure if he'll be watching today as he was up really early getting the orders ready and getting back to bed. You see, we're really confused.
That's
Have
what
we
I
got the
saw
wrong
him
days
early
then?
this morning, so that must have been what he was. I only saw that he was there, and I flicked it through, and he was like standing outside, and I thought, oh, he must be getting ready to go.
Oh.
And I'd seen last night, I'd seen him with all the quilts out because he'd done something like
He's-
crazy, like 8 quilts or something.
I know, he's mad.
He's a
In a really
machine.
good way. I know. Anna Martin, good morning, ladies. It's very grey and overcast in Bodmin today. Yeah, but in Bodmin, you'll blink and it'll be sunny in a minute. And you'll have a beautiful rainbow in between. That's what happens in Bodmin. Ask me how I know. May I
imagine
come
that
and
it's
join the dog
stunning.
on the mattress base? Elizabeth, of course you may. Of course you may. You will just be licked to death. I'm here, says Myra. At least. At last. What are 2 weeks? Hello, friends. Have you been up to horsey things and tractors? I want to say horses and tractors. I don't know why. I'll just say horses and tractors. Who else have we got? Laurie, ready for Witchy Wednesday. Do you know, we worked so hard trying to think of Workshop Wednesday and
Wednesday
all these,
workshop,
all these different things. It never occurred to us that it would just be Witchy Wednesday.
Stitchy Wednesday.
Stitchy Witchy Wednesday, yeah. Morning, Natasha and Jane. Love. My Block of the Month kit. Thank you, said Linda Cummings. Oh, that's an absolute pleasure. We are always happy by the end of the show. And the start, says Elizabeth. Oh, that's good. John was great. His shirt didn't disappoint. I love that is the benchmark.
Yes.
We don't have this pressure, do we?
No.
Which is strange because you'd think for women it would be.
Yeah, I always think, oh, what did I wear last week? Just so I don't put the same thing on.
Do you?
Yeah, just to, so that it doesn't look like I've made like all the shows in one go.
Oh, okay. I just observe the floordrobe and pick up what's clean. I'm not going to lie, that's about as coordinated as I go.
I want something that fits at the moment. Everything's a little bit shrunk somehow. I don't know what happened.
I just bought a new wardrobe.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do.
I did get to that stage where
Just
I'm like,
embrace it.
This diet that starts tomorrow, it's just never going to happen, is it? So I may just as well enjoy being me today. Alison says, wanted to say thank you for the scissors in my parcel. They are excellent. Such a kind gesture. Alison, it's our absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. When Yeah, when I got the opportunity to buy them, I knew I wanted to do something special for the new block of the month, because I realise it's an investment if you have to pay out a lot in one go.
Yes.
Rather than spread. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, really, and just say, you know, thank you for coming on board with us for the next like 10 months or however long it's going to be. So, you know, it's my absolute pleasure. Yes, tractors hitting the car, says Myra, running around like a mad woman. Do you know what happens? I got in my car to go and pick up Freddie yesterday, and the electrics have gone nuts. I mean, nuts. I've never seen so many warnings. I'm not sure if it's from Captain Small being, I'm the best driver in the world, mummy, and sitting there pressing lots of buttons, if that's basically made it go, oh!
What?
But I don't have a car. I'm going to have to take the fun bus to the craft store tomorrow.
That'll be fun. Literally.
If you see some crazy yellow van driving along, you know it's me. Just move out of the way. I just move out of the way. It'll just be stuff full of, you know, fabric and stuff. Do you want to have a look at these half-metre heavens, by the way, ready for tomorrow? For those of you that are just joining us and have never joined us before, sorry. Probably what I should say.
Well, no, this is us, and, you know.
This is what happens, isn't it, really?
This is what we are.
Yeah. Half-metre heavens, yes, they go live tonight at midnight. Some of you crazy people stay up until midnight and get in quick. I don't blame you, because there are, like, some I've only got one of this week, some I've got 6 of, some I've got 5 of, some I've got, one I've got 10 of. That's unusual, isn't it? Mm. So it's a real mixed bag. But I am really enjoying the half-metre heavens. That little bit of extra freedom to be able to find other fabrics other than just plains to go with the fabrics, I am loving. And I think you are too. So let's have a look. Without further ado, oh, yes. Oh, this is the kit, the nice to have, not essential kit. You have in there Tempate plastic, a fine Sharpie. This little thing, Jane went, what's that? You know, I said to you, if you double up on your freezer paper, you can sand down the edges.
Yeah.
That's your sanding paper for that.
Cool.
Your cuticle thing, so that you can get the corner, you can iron and not have to burn your fingers when you're doing your applique pieces. That is your dressmaker's carbon paper, so that you can then, and also use that as well to trace your pattern.
I was going to say, it's a good little
on.
tracing pen.
Right. Yep. I've thought of it all, you know. And then you've got your embroidery needles, your applique needles, a piece of sandpaper, fine grade sandpaper, and you'll be like, what is that in there for? You know, the Suffolk puff that goes in the middle of the flowers.
Yeah.
That is all. There you go. Gemma's going to find a cost for that in a minute. Right. Quilting mat. For those of you that might like to have a quilting mat in your life. Do you know what I love about June Taylor mats? I'd always had self-healing until I met these.
Yeah.
But it's like the mat comes up to meet the blade, and it just gives such a lovely crisp. Rather than your blade sinking into a self-healing mat, the blade just meets it and cuts. It's fabulous. If you're a crafter and you've got a die cutting machine, it's like when you put a metal shim in and you just hear that crunch and just know that it's cut it beautifully, and that's what these do. This is the Quilting Mat mat. Quilting Mat. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Quilting Mat. And this has got all of your different applique shapes and stuff on it as well, so you can use it as a template as well. Don't we love that? Because I had calls for mid-size mats. Natasha, can we have mid-size mats? And you can hang them, and they're not too heavy.
No, they're nice and light, yeah, definitely.
And that's why I take these to Hochanda with me, because they're light, and I can just shove them in the car and it's all good.
Yeah, great for when we go back to workshops and you need to take a mat with you.
Absolutely. So they are those. Can I give you those to go?
Yeah.
I might have to have one of those Quilting Mate ones. They look quite good. And this is what, oh gosh, I haven't got the acrylic paint off there. Ignore that. That shouldn't be there. Right. So do you want to go half-metre heaven pluses or half-metre heavens?
Oh, let's do the pluses first.
Let's do the pluses first. Okay.
Let's do the pudding first and then have the pudding.
This pudding first,
Yeah.
is that what we're doing? So this is a beautiful spray time. I never appreciated quite how useful the spray time fabrics were.
I love spray time.
They're just fab. So these are the roses from the Tula Pink, and just look at that together. Aren't they sublime? It just works. For those of you that are going, well, what? That, oh, there. Cat's moved the camera again. That is your spray time, and it just means that you've got a bit of wiggle room with the colour, and because there are so many different pinks actually in there, look how beautifully they go together.
It's lovely.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's lovely, and it's got a bit of texture to it, so it's not as, you know, sometimes you don't want that plain, you want something with a little bit of
quite.
texture.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use that as a ramp. Look at this.
That's
So this is your Alice. Did you ever spot? I didn't spot it for ages. Did you spot the rabbits in it?
No. Oh yes, I did with the
And
in
him?
in the white bits. Yeah.
It took me a while to spot that. Probably because I was busily fussy cutting Alice.
Yes.
Now, I've got two different colourways for this. I found, spray time purple.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, right. Doesn't it just bring out all these flowers around here?
And the
Or
greys with the little cat on her shoulder as well.
or how about the turquoise?
Oh, that's pretty.
That's nice as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that matches the background beautifully, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? So them's your options there. And then, so that's, yeah, so I did two Alices. Now, the Alison Glass, the crochet Alison Glass,
That's
do you know what?
gorgeous.
That spray time also looks rather lush with that.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It's
Isn't
been
it?
made for it.
I have gone through so many turquoises trying to find the right one for that, and then I hit on that and I was like, thank the Lord I found the right one. Now. This is your Lewis and Irene. So you're going to see quite a lot of Lewis and Irene because we had a few little bits left over.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if you remember the ombre, the red ombre. Whoop. So you've got double Lewis and Irene here.
Ooh, that's a treat.
I know, right?
Spoiling them.
Well, you know, I only had a little bit left of it, but because sometimes finding the right colourway isn't always easy, but it's discreetly ombre. But when I say
subtle ombre, isn't it?
yeah, it is. I've got 3 of those. You know, that's what I mean. There's only
yeah,
3,
It's just the end a few bits, isn't
and
it?
I've got 4 of this one. So this is your stag's head. Look, you see 4 there. But again, with that ombre,
Oh, that's nice.
it's just lovely, isn't it?
We've still got time to make a Father's Day gift.
Yeah, haven't you? Yeah. And again, but only 4 of those. Only 4. Now, I had a little bit left of the blue ombre. This is one of Freddie's favourite fabrics. This and the...
I love that.
Yeah,
Glow
the
in the
little one.
dark.
This is glow in the dark. But the ombre, the blue ombre... Look at the blue ombre. Ooh, just
Nice.
works so well. It's one of those things that when you find a company... This is the joy of managing to put the same company's fabrics together, because they come from the same colour palette.
Yeah,
They're working from the same colour palette. So this is going to just work beautifully with that. I have got 3. That's all I've got. So it's just one of those things. You've just got to be in there quick. And that was just dictated by the blue because of, and one blue with that as well. One of the ombre blues.
Oh,
with
that's nice.
This is the last of the reflections. We know we've got the new Liberty coming in, the new Quilting Weight Liberty. We know we've got that coming in. So we wanted those ombres. We wanted the, we've got, you know, like this. I've got 5 of these and then they're gone. That's it. And I've put that with the red ombre as well, because this is ombre, so it all just ties in and it's from the same collection. So yeah, that's it. And then that's the dragonflies gone and done. This is the last of the reflections. That's it then. There's
it was
nothing
very
left.
popular, wasn't it? There was only a few.
It
little
was
bits left.
really popular. So this is your buds in blue and purple, and I've put it with the purple.
Oh, that's nice. Well,
Isn't
it
it?
will be, won't it? It's the same collection.
Well,
It
yeah,
just
but it's just
beautifully works.
everything ties in. The colours work. It all works. And because I only had a few left, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to spoil you today, and put like with like. Now I've got 1 of these, and that is your red ombre with your buds.
Nice.
Because the rest of it went with the chocolate swirls. Ooh, yummy.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you're quick, you can get that and the red, and then you've got a quilt. And that's why we do this sometimes, is put more than one colour with whatnot. And there's your blue and your turquoise. Beautiful, beautiful. They're just great for non-directional prints, aren't they? And I've written this down twice. There you go. There's that again. Let me just waft that around. I just haven't. It was early. That's what I'm going to say. It was early. So that is your HMH Plus, which just means that it's got something other than a plain with it. Now. Can I interest you in a bit of Tula Pink and brand new sangria? Bit early for sangria, but there it is. Now the beautiful thing about this is you see when you look at that, where the pink and the red meet, there's like one line where it goes down. The eye thinks it's that sangria.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, let me go overhead for this. The eye does funny things with colour, doesn't it? It really does. And when I put that there, suddenly that line down the middle is that pink colour.
Yes.
And yet that pink colour isn't strictly speaking in there.
No, it's funny, isn't it, how your eye works it through.
So that's the brand new. So
that suited and booted. I think it's really
it's
nice.
gorgeous, isn't it? And Rose and Hubble have brought out some new planes, and this is one of them. I have searched high and low for a yellow or something that would work with this one. And if I just pop this down, this is Tears, Sea of Tears. But the dodo has a yellow head. And she's got yellow on her, and he said bib, apron. And that and purple and yellow go.
I love purple and yellow together.
So they've brought out Buttercup. Perfect. Let me show you Buttercup and the dodo's head.
These new shades of Rose and Hubble are really pretty. They've really looked at sort of filling in the gaps.
Missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing we need from them, we were just saying earlier, is a more bluey purple.
Yes, nice.
That's what I will be requesting from them next time. Now, Libs Elliott. We're working with some Libs Elliott today, and I wanted to just show you. How beautiful is that?
That's gorgeous.
It's really stunning, and I just need to show you this close up because it's such a beautiful fabric. And again, the purple and the blue together give you that marine.
Yeah.
Just stunning.
Really lovely.
Just stunning.
Really fresh, crisp.
You know, blue and white you can't go wrong with
No,
anyway,
it's
can
really
you?
nice.
So then to give you blue and white and then all the colours,
A little bit of rainbow in there. It's nice.
it's a happy day, let me tell you. And so this, with the Buttercup again. And suddenly it pulls out all these different colours.
All
Again,
the greens
that's
and yellows in there pop down,
Yeah.
don't they?
And again, that's your Libs Elliott. So these are all $9.99, these ones that I'm showing you now. Those ones that we've just shown you are $11.99. Brassica,
My favourite.
right. But Jane, here's the thing. New Hawaiian blue. In,
Gorgeous.
yes, please. And again, this is one that there's a tiny bit in there just around there, but it just pulls it through. I am loving this, and I wanted to put it with so many different things. So this is brand new in terms of the colourway here, because this is their brand new Hawaiian colourway, and it just, beautiful, beautiful. And I got so excited about it, I also put it with the coleus.
Oh, lovely.
So you know how Kaif does like a bluey, like nightimey kind of colourway.
Yeah.
How beautifully does that sit in with it?
That's perfect, isn't it?
Isn't it? Isn't it? You haven't seen all of these, have you, this morning?
This is like all new to me.
you
and I
got
was
stuck
like,
on the motorway, yeah.
I was like, oh, you've done them.
I've done them. I've done them. Now, here we go. Tea time. Tea time, tea time. How about this? This is a colour you haven't seen before. This is spearmint. Yep. Perfect.
That's lovely. That's a
Perfect.
really perfect colour.
And again, we didn't have the right shade. We just
No.
didn't, which is why you haven't seen this in the half metre heavens, because I've been waiting for the right shade to come along. And kapow, there it is. I loved it. Oh no, I've put this with the new aqua. Ooh, again, this is Libs Elliott. Love,
love
love,
that
love
one.
this. And
It
look at
just
that.
reminds me of like children's painting aprons, all that rainbow.
So yesterday, you know, Emily had to, Penny, our lovely cleaner, who's been my friend for 20-something years, you know that you don't, like, there's no escaping it. Once you're my friend, you're my friend.
Yeah,
and that's it. Like, you're
life.
stuck.
Yeah.
Soz about that.
I don't mind. I'm happy.
So she ended up with Emily. She left yesterday and she's like, so, haven't really done any cleaning. In fact, I'm afraid you're going to have to clean up after me. I was like, okay then, thanks, bye. That was how yesterday went.
They've been crafting with glitter. So
Everywhere.
you can imagine.
Everywhere.
There's glitter even where they haven't been.
Miss Emily and glitter. Yeah. Look at that. In fact, I'm gonna close up this because
That is stunning.
I actually squealed when I saw this. Not gonna lie. Look at that.
It's just perfect with it.
Ah, ha, ha. It just pulls out. Oh, I love it. Do you know, actually, that looking at that, if you look at this in sort of in weird chunks where you can't see all the melons, it could be some kind of weird landscape, couldn't it?
Yeah. It's a lovely
A
fabric.
far
that is,
away
that,
country.
you know, fussy cutting it, you get such lovely ideas from it.
So you know that spearmint. Hello, KFC Dream.
I've been looking at that dream and I've been like, that fabric is just lovely.
Isn't it? Isn't it? And let me get it around the right way for you. And look at that.
That spearmint's perfect for it.
Isn't it? And again, we didn't have the right colour, so I've never put it with that colourway before. Loving it. I've got 6 of those.
Oh.
And that was the end of the bolt. Ooh.
Oh, I like the colours in that.
Yeah. This is the first time we've had this on the show. I went unashamedly pink.
It's perfect though.
Bright pink, unashamedly, pulling out all of these. Thank you very much. There's your brassica. Wahahaha.
Well, there's some lovely tones in there, isn't there?
I know, it's all beautiful. Philip Jacobs, Snow Leopard,
Nice. Seashells.
seashell stripe with kapow, sapphire. Thank you very much.
Oh, lovely.
Yep. I kind of want to do
Ooh,
things.
You've had a really nice time
I
with these
know,
colours
I
this
know.
morning.
It goes on and on, doesn't it? Bit like me, soz people. Right, this is Peacock. Now, the reason that there is so much Libs Elliot is because Jane's going to work with some Libs Elliot this morning, and this is basically what's then left over.
Yeah.
This is, and so if
There
you
wasn't
want
a lot of it, was it? Just,
there
you know.
really wasn't, and a lot of you have already dug in and got what you wanted. But this could be the background to the quilt that you're doing today.
Yeah.
Absolutely could be. So if you want to
Mix
just
it
get a
in.
bit of extra, mix it in, pop it in with your stash, you're good to go. I found 2 units of this purple salt batik.
Oh,
That's all we had left. I found it in the box, and I've put it with the purple thistle because it's
Oh, that's
utterly beautiful.
perfect with it.
Yes. And then I found, oh, here we go, some Imperial to go with that purple.
Oh, that's dramatic, isn't it?
It's very dramatic. Love a
like
bit of
it.
drama, but in a good way. And then this was, I've got 2 units of the dragonflies. I've put it with paprika.
Works every time.
And
Very
that's it.
nice.
That is my half meter heaven offering to you this morning. And they go live at midnight tonight. Jane, could I ask you to run and grab those, give those to Gemma so she can photograph them, please?
Yes.
Please, please, please. Thank you very much.
And make
Now,
hiss.
today, on today's show, we have got the kits. Yes, so let me just show you the kits. We've gone for colour. When we first did the star, we did it in Tula Pink, we did it in the mineral range, and it was absolutely beautiful, and it just sold out. And then we got the cushion looks so beautiful on my dusky pink chair, doesn't it?
It's stunning.
Yeah. It looks really beautiful because it's got a little pink centre there, and I still haven't got it in the right place because now the sewing machine's in the way. There we go. Pop it there. I don't know why the mouse just seems the bear just seems to go with it.
It does look really
Yeah,
nice.
it does look really nice with it. So you've got the cushion size or the quilt size, and let me show you the kits. Sorry. Thank you. You can have background wise with the libs. Let me show you this. I don't know if you can see, but you've got all the rainbow in like a splatter through there. It's really beautiful. Let me show you that there. Da, 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 da.
I love
Isn't
the
it gorgeous?
subtleness of that because it's not, it won't overtake from the star,
No.
but there's a little bit of colour in there.
There's all the colour, but discreetly.
Yeah.
Discreetly. You'd pay a lot for a work of art with that on it, wouldn't you?
You would.
You know, this
And I thought it'd be
nouveau
quite good
business.
fun with the white on the, give you a different effect completely to
It's-
the dark.
This is going to be very dramatic, and again, this is going to give it another effect. So we have got, for your delight, you can ombre these, and you can either have that with a black background or the white background. It's entirely up to you. Them's your choices. Is this going to do the quilt or the cushion?
This will do the quilt.
This will do the quilt.
These are the
Amazing.
quilt sizes. You've actually got one extra long fat quarter there because we got it. So you can use that for your binding, or you know,
Gorgeous.
swap it around.
I'd bind in that, so I'd have the rainbow and then I'd bind in that,
Yeah,
just
nice.
to pull the whole thing together. Personally, and put that there. Then we've got this. So a lot of you, the Hungry Caterpillar. I forgot to bring the Hungry Caterpillar in.
The white one.
All of them. There's 4 bolts. So there's the 2 Hungry Caterpillar panels, and then there's the stars and spots. Sorry, Jane.
No, that's fine.
So this this came together because Jane's getting her steps up, isn't she? Because I did Emily the Very Hungry Caterpillar quilt, which is still in the back of my car, which is broken down and not going anywhere. And these are the Cafe Facet Aboriginal Dot. There we are. Aren't they beautiful? Long quarters. So I just did 4-inch squares of these as a border around the caterpillar, and that gave me a gorgeous border around my Very Hungry Caterpillar. So if you want to, is this going to be a cushion or a quilt, Jane?
That will do the quilt.
This will do the quilt as well. So if you want to do it in Cafe, then you can do it, and it's got 1.25 meters of black there. If you've already bought this and think, oh yes, I'd really like to do the quilt, just get yourself 3 units of black and you're on your way. Or if you just want that to do a rainbow around the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and this is the Very Hungry Caterpillar. This is what the panel looks like. So you've got a 60 centimetre panel. There's your Very Hungry Caterpillar there. You can have him in white or navy. There he is. There he is. It's entirely up to you. I thought they were rather fabulous. And Emily absolutely loves hers.
It's gorgeous. The one that you've made is lovely.
It was so simple. So all I did was cut 4-inch squares, 4-inch strips, sew them together, and then cut them. And then that meant I could have 2 along the bottom, 2 sets of strips along the bottom.
And one up each
And then,
side.
then one up each side. And then I sashed then around in stars, echoed the stars in my quilting, freestyly, because they're all wibbly wobbly anyway, as is my freestyling quilting. And then I would have gone with that if I'd have done the blue, the darker one. So they are your options from the Very Hungry Caterpillar, which Emily adores.
It's timeless, isn't it, the Hungry
Absolutely.
Caterpillar? I read it to my boys, and yeah, it's a lovely story.
Yeah. I'm going to leave you then to show these cushion kits,
Okie dokie.
because they're a bit gorgeous. I'm going to go and sit over there because I've just remembered I've got a cup of tea.
Well, that'll be nice and cold.
It'll be whammy, as my grandma would say, whammy. Whammy tea. See you in a second, guys.
Hello, good morning.
Good
A sunny, shiny day. It's lovely, isn't it, out there? Right, okay. I'm going to bring the cushion forward slightly and talk to you about my colours and my cushion. We had these grunge stars in, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we were like, ooh, they're lovely. And I said, oh, we could make a smaller version of the rainbow star because there's 5 colours. 5 colours. And I took it home and I was going to put it on a black background. And I was doing it, and I started off making it, and I was like, I don't like the black. It's taken it away. It went all flat and dull, and I didn't like it at all. So I changed the colourway around and put the pink in because I got this beigey colour in the middle. So I changed it round and put the beige on the outside, and that's really made the star pop, I think.
I think it's beautiful.
And it's
We
so
found that, is it
soft
ballet shoes, that pink in the middle?
ballet slipper, I think it's
ballet
called.
slipper. It's
Yeah.
just gorgeous.
It's a beautiful pink, and it's got a bit of grey in it, so it really does work well. And I thought this is a nice, calming, neutral colour that will work in, some people's decor isn't up for bright rainbows. I love a bright rainbow, but not everybody does. Some people like a more neutral shading.
Yes, if you are that more... Well, also,
More
if you're
subtle.
gifting to someone and you know that they have more neutral shades, then here it is. These are your neutral tones.
And I mean, this could work in, a study, a bit more masculine, if you like, if we want to go down that road.
Or on my pink, dusky pink.
Yeah, on your dusky pink chair. It looks
Chair.
like it was made for it. Yeah, so that was that. But then we had these bright colours in, because I love bright colours.
Well, this is what happens, isn't it? So
Yeah.
the box of the new grunges arrived, and I was like, oh, let's load them, then cut to order. And Jane was like, but I could do stuff with that. It's like, all right then.
So these
Karen says, oh, for
bright
heaven's
ones,
sakes, what are you doing to me? She needs all of these.
Look at these lovely brights. Just love those colours. And you see, that will give you a completely different star. Now, what we've done is we've done like an amendment sheet to the original pattern.
Yeah, because some of you will have the pattern for the start, and
Because
it's
some of you
not,
will- yeah, you'll
it's
have
not
bought
fair to make you pay for a whole new pattern, which is basically the same technique but just different measurements and whatnot. So we've done an
Yes.
amendment sheet, which is I think $1.99 for the amendment sheet to give you all the different.
Yeah.
So, or if you want to buy the old pattern, which does the quilt, you can have that for our normal $5.99 price. Or if you want to buy the amendment sheet and the quilt, it's $7.99. So there's a bit of a discount on that.
We've done it in like 3 ways for the moment. Eventually we'll take the original pattern off and just do it with the amendment sheet in. But for now, because we know there's people that have already bought the pattern, we've got the amendment sheet there. Because the method is exactly the same, but all we've done is we've used less colours. In the one behind me, there's 6 colours in there. Yeah, 6 colours. This one's got 5 colours in it. I've done it a smaller width strip, and that gives you a smaller star. You can still do it with the 2.5 inch wide strips, and again I've put that in the amendment sheet just to show, but again the technique, the actual construction of it is the same. You're going to end up with a smaller star even if you do it with 2.5. I think it ends up with something like 34 or 36 or something like that with the squares. But you can get, from this kit, you can get the 1.5 inch width, which makes the cushion from that kit. You could also get the 2.5 inch out of this kit. You will get, from the rainbow kits that Natasha just showed you, you will get the quilt behind us. You can do the strips at 1.5 with that, and it will be smaller, but it'll look smaller. It'll look the same, but smaller. So you can do it, same method, just cut your strips at 1.5, and then when you cut your segments, cut them at 1.5 as well. But the rainbow kits, they make that star behind. These ones will make the cushion. So we've got the brights and we've got the neutral, and let's show you how to do it.
Oh, Jane, you know the handy to have with for the applique kit, just there in front of you.
Yes,
Grab it back.
this
Gemma has made it live, and it is, hang on, she just sent me the pricing for it. Oh, no, wrong message. It is $11.99.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
So you've got loads of needles in there, you've got your template plastic, you've got your...
Everything, all your accessories.
You've got
really,
the
isn't it? All
little bits
and
that you just
pieces.
got, that's just going to make it
Yeah.
easy. And then if you've bought the big thingy, then you've got a really sharp pair of little scissors as well. So
Lovely.
that's there for you. And then also we've got some threads as well. So if you are doing the Baltimore, I've found you threads that are the right colour.
Oh, lovely. That's handy as well,
I've done a
isn't it?
pack that has all the colours that you're going to need for the whole quilt, and then one for just block 1, which you'll then use for loads of other blocks. It's just missing a few colours if you just, if you're just watching what you're spending now. So if you just are after colours that work, and then there's one polyester thread in there. There's a Gutterman thread for the gathering, because you need a strong thread for gathering the base of your flowers. So
Brilliant.
yeah, like I say, they're just up there. There's no pressure to buy it. It's just there for those of you that just don't necessarily have all the colours. There we go. End of. As you were, Jane. As you were.
Public information.
Sorry
service.
about that. Yeah.
That's fine. So sort out your colours first of all. Decide how you want your rainbow to go. I was looking at, as I said, I was looking at these, and originally I'd got this colour in the middle, go into that one, go into that one, and then the paler one on the outside, and I was going to put it with black, and as I said, it just drew it down, and it was well, it wasn't horrible, but it didn't do anything. It wasn't nice for me. So I'd got some of this ballet slipper left from when I made the original candy medallion quilt for the block of the month. I'd used the grunges, but then we weren't able to get enough quantity to make it for the block of the month. So I got a little bit of this left over, and I just thought, oh, that actually would look better, and that would be better as the background. So that's how it evolved to change it around, because we were going to go with neutrals to start with. So just put them in the order that you feel that you want them to go in, bearing in mind that your fabric, it's B in the pattern because fabric A is always the background fabric. Your B fabric will be the middle star. So that really is your focal point. You might want to go with a darker colour in the middle and work it out and have, one of the lighter colours in the band. If I bring the cushion back to the middle, this would be a focal point there, and the dark in the middle. It's entirely up to you, and you can switch it around so it makes,
you just
you can
know
make
that
it your
the
own.
colours go, don't
Yeah.
you? So whatever order you put them in, you'll just get a different effect, but they are all going to work together.
Yes, and you've got enough in here to make that star, as I say, and you will have some left over because we've gone long quarters because it's an easy cut for us, and it's not overly expensive either, is it? So it's a nice kit to have, and you'll have fabric left over, which is always nice to have in your stash.
It's not a bad thing, is it at all?
No.
Susan says, what sewing machine needles have the larger eye, universal 90 or 80? I want to say 90.
I would say that they would have the same size eye.
So
we're
it's
talking machine needles.
Oh, so it's the actual needle thickness, that not the eye that changes.
Yeah, no. I mean, sometimes you'll find that with hand sewing needles, the eyes are a little bit bigger or smaller, but the actual size of a needle is the width of the diameter of the actual needle itself. I think you'll find that sewing machine needles are pretty universal
Standard
size
in terms of
eye. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
So you're going to need to cut your strips. In the pattern it tells you how many strips of each you're going to need to make the star, because some you only need 1 and some you'll need 3 and some you'll only need 2, and that will be all in your pattern. I've cut mine at 1.5 because we're going to make the smaller star. You can cut them at 2.5. There's enough fabric in the kits, all the kits, for the 2.5 inch width if you feel that 1.5 is a little bit tiny for you and you'd rather have a bigger star. So once you've cut your strips to the width that you need, you're going to need to cut your strips in half. So you've got 2 strips, more or less the same width, length. It doesn't really matter at this point. Don't worry if they're not exactly the same, because even when you've got fabric from the same manufacturer, same range, you will find that some of the strips, the width is a little bit different to the others. Just happens, that's the way it is. And you're going to put your fabrics in the order, and for the left hand side you're going to need to stagger them down on the left just by approximately the width of the fabric, so that's like 1 inch staggered, and then the other side you are going to need to stagger them on the right. And what I did was I kept the selvage on so that I could see that I got all the selvages on either side. So it makes sense for me. And if you put them together, you're going to have them. So one goes down and one goes up. And you'll, when we start cutting, you'll understand why you do that. If you have them all the same width, you're not going to get your star shape because you need them facing in opposite directions. And you're just going to sew them together. So you sew them together in pairs and then add the last one on, just making sure that you have them staggered, as I say. This just prevents wastage when you're cutting. That's all the reason for that is. And then I just press them all to the same side. So it doesn't necessarily matter which side, but have them all facing the same way. And this is strip set 1. On strip set 2, I press them in the opposite direction to strip set 1. Just, it will help when you come to put them together. You can't nestle the seams, but it does help a little bit. So you're going to make those. Now I've been cutting mine up to make the star already. So I've got some strip sets here, but they've already been started to be cut into. But you can see there, I've just moved these out of the way. All the seams are facing the same way on there, all down. So once you've got your strip sets cut.
Very quick question.
Yes.
The finished cushion,
Yes.
the star is 14 by 14 finished, is it?
Yes.
Is the cushion a little bit bigger with
It is. I put a little bit, I just put another 1.5 inch width piece cut around the outside edge.
Amazing. But they could sash and make it bigger still.
Yes, if they wanted to. You'd have enough, with the smaller size, you'd have enough to do that.
Also,
Yeah.
your blouse is very beautiful and it makes your eyes and hair look fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And Margaret would like, when you've shrunk out of your lovely floaty top, she would like it, please.
Yeah, no.
It's all round today.
No, the
That's
floaty top
lovely.
stays. Yeah. Oh, Gemma,
Yes.
because I thought this would be Over a Pair of Shorts festival wear as well. Is Camp Calling happening this year?
I hope so. They've not cancelled it yet.
They haven't cancelled
As
it
far as
yet
I'm aware.
or refunded, have they? So, yeah, because all right,
No.
that's good. Just checking. Yeah.
Important issues of the day.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it just means that I will have to make sure that I do the pre-record that I was just planning,
Excellent.
ready for the bank holiday end of August,
Yes.
which will be super exciting. But it just means I've got to do that so that.
Let's try and bring this in further relevance as well. We need to do some kind of floaty top type shenanigans.
Oh, we've already got a floaty top shenanigan top show on the go. Don't you worry about that.
Perhaps the likes of our lovely Margaret, who's admiring it, might like to know that.
Yeah, Margaret,
Lovely.
there is a similar floaty top occurring very soon.
Lovely.
Well, basically as soon as Susie gets back.
So we've got strip set 1 there, one facing
Sorry,
right,
Jane.
one facing left.
Yeah.
That's fine. Strip set 2, and then there's a squiggly little bit there of strip set 3.
Squiddy diddly.
You will have a half width of fabric of your strip sets, and you can see I've made 1 star out of this already, so you can see how much you've got left over from just the 1 set of strip sets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of substitution in this pattern. So you can make more. You'd probably be able to make another block with what you've got. It's just the backing that might just prevent you making more.
Yeah.
But you can always order more backing. And the demo that I've done, I've just used a plain cream fabric for the demo one because I didn't want to start cutting more strips of the
Oh.
cream star, vanilla
Yeah.
star it's called actually. Because I want the customers to have the fabric.
Well, yeah. They're kind of
So-
what keep the lights on, aren't they?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you would work it if you imagine that's not cut already, and we're going to imagine this is how our strip set is. So your first cut is to get your 45-degree cut in your strip set. And this is why we've staggered it, because you're going to line up one of your seams, and I always use the seam, I don't use the edge of the fabric because the edge of the fabric can be a little bit wobbly. What I will say is best press your fabric till it's nearly like cardboard really. You're going to be working with a lot of biased edges And the stiffer your fabric is, the more starched your fabric, the better for you because it'll move less.
I've got some amazing starch sprays on the way
Are you getting
in the
some,
next week or so.
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, you can say.
Because you're getting the flatter, aren't you?
Yep.
Which is absolutely
Yep.
lovely stuff and smells divine.
Yeah, there's a lot of it coming this way for you, because I want you all to try it. Because the big thing that I was told about it, the woman that I've bought it from suffers with asthma, and she said that the other starch sprays set her off.
They can aggravate it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she said that's why she's used flatter, because it doesn't. And I just thought, well, do you know what? Yeah, let's do that. And there's no nasties in it at all. Not that I think there are any nasties in any of the others, but
No.
I don't know for sure. So I just know that with this, there's no nasties. It's all
Yeah.
good stuff in there.
Lovely. So you can see on my ruler, the 45-degree line is lined up with the seam line on there. And I've just moved it across. I've got the selvage edge there. I don't want to be cutting into the selvage. So I'm just moving it across so that I'm on the fabric. So you can see already that's quite a bit of wastage of fabric. So if we'd lined those up, you'd have a great big piece of one that, you would be wasted for this pattern. So that gives us our 45-degree line to start with. We're then going to turn that around and we're going to line it up with the 1.5 inch measurement on our ruler. And again, just for that first few cuts, or for all of your cuts if you feel more comfortable, just make sure that your 45-degree line on your ruler is still against your seam line. And you will cut 4 strips from each piece. You're going to need 4 of left to right and 4 of right to left. So it's just working your way down, lining your 1.5 inch mark up against there. Sometimes you might find that it's gone off slightly, so just line your ruler up again, cut your width, turn it around and just take it back. As I say, we're working with biased edges here, so even at this stage it can stretch slightly. So, there's nothing to just take it back and just redo it. What I will say is just make sure that you keep all your pieces together, because otherwise it's very easy, and ask me how I know, to try and sew the wrong piece to the wrong one.
Organisation, Jane, organisation.
What can I say? This is what happens. So again, with the other one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up with the 45-degree ruler, line on the ruler, and we're cutting it the opposite way. Now, this is going to be tricky with this because I need to make sure I get the line the right way. This is where you spend a lot of time just wiggling your ruler around trying to find the 45-degree line.
Hurrah! We love
There we
that.
And again, just take it, slide it along. You want to waste the least amount of fabric, so I can see there that's coming against the edge of there. And then you'll turn it round that way and you'll cut your strips, 1.5 inch wide strips again, lining it up with the edge. And as I said, you'll want 4 of each for each segment, because you're going to make a diamond. I'll just show you, this is what we're aiming for. This is what we're going to make.
Nice.
So that piece there, you can see that's the other way. That's that side, and that's this side. And this is why we're cutting them in different directions, because we want to make, we make the diamonds, we're going to add the background triangles, and that makes like a half square triangle, and then we're going to join those together to make a square. So we want them to be in opposite directions. And sometimes you can look at it and you think, oh, well, that will work, doing it like that, but that gives you a different effect altogether and it won't go together the same way. If that makes sense, because you might think, oh, well, I'll just cut them all the same way. Try it and you'll see. It's frustrating when it doesn't work. You think, oh, I thought I knew what I was doing. So I'm going to make that diamond. So I want the ones that go that way. So I'm just going to cut 1 of each strip set. You'll work through your strip sets and you'll make 4 of each in each direction. so that you've got them. That's the wrong one. Is it? Or have I cut them? No. This is why you'll do it properly, systematically, and you'll get them all. I do know what I'm doing, honestly.
I'm not interrupting. I'm trying to let you concentrate.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying so hard not to say anything so that you can concentrate. Because I know otherwise I keep interrupting and it's annoying. Sorry.
So we've got those like that, and you'll have your strip sets, and you keep them, as I say, keep them on your mat, and you'll put them in order. So this is the diamond going from left to right as I'm looking at it, and we're going to sew them together. Now we can't sew them flat together. We have to offset the seams, and there's some little hints and tips that we can use. And if you've I've realised I've pressed my seams all in the same direction after saying to people to press them in the opposites for the rows. So as I was whizzing this morning, I'm just going to repress this middle one. I don't recommend you do that because now I'm working on biased edges and that is asking for trouble. And just press that the opposite way and snip these ears off, because when you've cut it you won't have ears like that. So, there we go. So we've got the seams running that way on that one, that way on that one, and then the other way on that one, so that when we put them together we can you don't nestle them, they won't nestle. Let me just press that again. Oh, I've got the steam on. Take the steam on.
Oh, that might have been me.
No,
I was
fine.
steaming stuff
Yeah.
earlier, getting a bit overexcited.
So just making sure that they're in the way that you want them to be, because it's very easy to turn them around, and that's okay, that's fine. You'll just end up with a different pattern. And again, on the rainbow star pattern, there is a grid for you to colour in. So you can have a play with that and colour it and see.
I'd forgotten you'd done that. That was genius.
It's really nice. And what you can also do, if you've got two like mirrors, you can just colour one diamond in,
Yeah.
and put your two mirrors against it, either side, and it will show you what the star will look like.
That's very clever also.
You can buy them, or they're one of those quilters things that you can have.
Oh!
They're out
Oh,
there.
I need to find
they're
that.
out there to buy.
Hang on.
Two mirrored tiles with a bit of gaffer tape on the back of them works just as well. Or a compact mirror.
Yeah, but they're round, aren't they?
Yes.
Compact mirrors, so
Yeah.
that's harder.
Yeah, but you'll be able to see then if I put them like that on my diamond, it will give me, the reflection will give me what the star looks like, and that's quite nice because that saves you chopping the fabric and then deciding that you don't like the pattern. So if you do it with the colouring first and have a play where you want your fabrics to be.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So, right, we're going to need to go on a close-up on this.
Sorry, I'm looking for mirrors now. I mean, you've done that.
I started
Soz
something
about
wrong.
that. Oh, not on a close-up on that.
No, not on me ironing.
Not on you.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So
I'm
we've got
getting
the
overexcited.
seams.
Now. Close up now.
So we've got the seams facing in opposite directions, but we need to have them offset by 1/4 inch. That's our seam allowance. So we're taking that point there, if you make that go up 1/4 inch, and we just need to drop that seam there 1/4 inch in. So it should all follow. And you know me, I'm not very much for pinning things, but I do pin this. 1, because it's on a bias, and 2, because it sort of acts as a marker as to where my seam needs to be.
Right.
Now, what I will say to you is, the first time you do it, they might not meet up the way you want them to, and you'll be wanting to unpick it. If it's not, you know, like a huge gap, I don't recommend you unpick it, really, because as I said before, we're working with biased edges, and the more you unpick it, the more you're going to stretch your fabric, and the more you stretch your fabric, the even less likely it is to want to go together.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's just come undone. Why not? I just checked this morning. I thought I got it threaded. Doesn't look like I pulled the bobbin thread up.
You're right, do you need a hand?
No, I think we're okay. We just hadn't pulled the bobbin thread up, so of course it hadn't stitched.
Oh.
There we go. And we go again. So when we push that back, we should have our points. That's slightly out for me, and I probably would unpick that. You can see that it's staggered itself down, and I will unpick it.
Uh-oh.
But if you're going to unpick something like this, keep it flat and just take every third stitch through with your unpicker.
Do you know what, actually? I'm quite glad that it didn't go quite as you wanted, because it's not always going to. And
No,
if it
and it
means
doesn't
that actually
always.
you can show how to do this, so much the better.
Well, I think, you know, I would say that for every one that I made, there was probably one seam that I wasn't happy with, and I unpicked it. It's this offsetting of seams, and really is, sometimes when you do your pressing, and you really need to think about this, but it's something that I haven't found a flawless way of working out. Sometimes the seams, you'll get the width of the seam and they will sit against each other. And if I can go close up on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you'll get your seams when one's going that way and one's going that way. If you put the cut edge of this seam against the sewn edge and the cut edge of that seam against the sewn edge, that is your offset point. But you really need to think about which way you're pressing it to get that. So
there you go, that's, now we can see it, yeah.
it works, but it's all in the pressing, and you really you have to think about that. So it doesn't always work that way. So now I just need to make sure I've got them in the right direction. That's it. So actually what happens is, if you do have to unpick, you've got this stitched line that you know is 1/4 inch, and that also helps you with the guide. So you can make sure that it's pinned in the right place. So sometimes unpicking can help. But I don't.
And that's why best press spraying it, or starch savvy spraying it. Heavily starching is the plan here.
Yeah, because as I say, it's a biased edge and it's going to stretch. So handling it as little as possible is always good. And unpicking, if you can, if you can manage without unpicking it. This is why I say, if it's a few threads out, don't unpick it. Because when it's all together and you've quilted it, you won't notice it. It's really not going to be as obvious as you think it is at the time. And I find this a lot. People want to unpick things and it's just a few threads, and it's like, don't, because you're going to distort your fabric, and really it's not that noticeable. So that's better. I'm happier with that. So I'm now going to press that open. I'll just move all these bits of fabric out of the way.
So Jane came in this morning to just find the carnage that I'd left after yesterday's show because I hadn't managed to tidy up because I had Captain Small. Just everything that I'd just thrown on the floor during the show just ran. She just sort of looked and went, yeah, no, I'm working on that. I am working on that. I am very aware that that is not okay.
So just checking again that I'm in the right pattern for what I want to do, just so I've got it the right way. And this time I've got this where the seams sit on top of each other. So that for me is an easier point to see where that 1/4 inch is and makes it a good visual to see it. But as I say, it doesn't always work, and I still haven't worked out what you need to do to make it work every time.
Do you know what? That is quite reassuring for me because I sometimes think that it's only me that it's just not how my brain works.
No.
I always feel like there must be some kind of magic formula and I don't know it.
There'll be somebody out there that will say, oh, well, if you do this and this,
Oh, I'm
that's
pretty
how it
sure
will
you're
work.
right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, right, yeah, great, that's a good point. But I haven't worked it out yet. So that fits on there. That one of them is just slightly out, but I'm not, as I say, I'm not going to...
Do you quilt this afterwards on the cushion or
yes,
not?
it is quilted.
So actually sometimes you can
When it's
sneaky
quilted,
cheek
it
it
will,
a little bit, can't you?
yeah, it will disappear in. So you can see now we've got 2 diamonds there facing, and you will have 4 that way and 4 that way in your star when you finish doing them all. If you've cut all your 4 sets.
Oh, Elizabeth wants to know, is it easier with skinny pins, please, Jane?
Yes. If you've got fine pins, obviously the finer your pin, the neater it's going to go in. And
So
we've got those lovely...
Yeah, so out
Quilter's
of the two,
pins.
because we often get asked what is the difference between the quilter's pins and the
We've got-
patchwork pins. So the patchwork pins are the ones that you want, the magic patchwork pins, because
I don't know
they are.
I don't know which one's which, but the
Yeah,
one
no,
that's
that's
got
what I'm saying. So the patchwork ones are the small turquoise-ended ones,
so we can
and the
see there.
quilter's pins are the bluey-ended ones, which are much longer,
Yeah.
because they've got to go through the layers of your quilt.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure
So,
you can
I
see
don't know
them.
if we can see that
No,
there.
do you want to go close
We can
up?
go close up.
Yeah.
If I
do
put
that.
them on my hand there, I've got glitter on my hands. I wonder how that's happened.
Wonder how that happened. Wonder
So-
how that happened.
That's is it the quilter pin that's the patchwork pin
The
that's the fine?
patchwork pin is the fine because it's doing your is holding
Yeah.
your patchwork
I
together.
don't know if you can see it, but it is actually a finer pin.
Yeah.
And the patchwork pin is longer, the quilting pin rather is longer, but a bit thicker.
There you go.
But these ones are
It just means
perfect.
they go into the fabric so much easier.
Yeah, they're softer, aren't they? And they're finer pins, so they will. And you can be more accurate with them then.
We waited for a long time actually to get those magic pins back in, because they just fly. We can't get
Yeah.
them in stock.
They're really good for people with dexterity problems because you've got this lovely longer head on the top of them.
Yeah.
Easier to get hold of and pull.
I remember thinking when they first came into stock, blimey, have I honestly just paid 10 quid for a set of pins? I must be mad. You know, when you can get them down the pound store for like 99p. But the others rust and they're rubbish.
Yeah,
and I
and
actually wouldn't use anything else now.
I think, you know, the cheaper pins that you get, you'll find about 10 of them haven't even got a point on them.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't been sharpened. So
Now, don't get
It's-
me wrong. There is a time and a place for
a
the
budget.
cheaper pin.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will use them to, especially if I'm labelling things for quilts and I want
Yes.
to put a label through, then I will pin and organise them and use it
Yes.
for that.
Yeah,
But if I'm working on fine detailed patchwork stuff, those pins come out for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely. And we've all got budgets that we have to work within, haven't we? So, yeah. So you'll have your 2, you'll have 4 of each diamond. And you're going to then get your background fabric of your squares. And you're going to have one slightly smaller than the other. This is 3 7/8 and this one's 5 inches. And we're going to cut them into half square triangles. So just cutting straight through the diagonal. And again, you're then working on a biased edge. So again, you know, use your best press. get them nice and starched, because you're going to have the biased edges in the first instance on the outside edges. Now what we're going to do now, as I said before, we're going to make these into half square triangles. So we're adding the triangles onto the opposite sides.
Oh,
so
nice.
you'll do 4 sets that way and 4 sets that way. And again, this is okay, this one. It's quite easy to line, well, they're both quite easy to line up actually. You're going to line that one up. If I bring it down a little bit, we can see that better. There we go. You're going to line that one up and it's going to hang over the edge here, 1/4 inch. And it's just a straightforward seam that.
Yeah, Helen says they also do air applique pins. I'm on it already, searching out those.
Oh, applique pins are lovely because they're really short.
They're really, really tiny, aren't they?
Yeah.
And now we're doing the Baltimore. We clearly need that in our lives.
Yes, because you're working with quite small pieces, aren't you?
Yeah.
So once you've sewn that on, you're going to press that away from your diamond shape. Again, take care pressing because you've got 2 biased edges there. And you're aiming for a straight edge there. Mine's bent slightly because of pressing and biased edges. And this is what happens. So, you know, don't beat yourself up because it's not quite straight.
Can you trim back? Or
I
not?
wouldn't at this stage. I wouldn't,
no. Step
because
away from the trimming back.
what
Right.
can happen is then you'll lose your shape and it won't sit properly in the middle. So then we're going to put this triangle here, the larger triangle. That's the biased edge there and that's running along this way. So you want your straight edge against this edge here to make it look like a triangle. That's what you're aiming for, because there's a temptation to think you've got to put that on that way because you've done it that way on there.
Yeah. I see what
But
you
you'll
mean.
end up with a different shape and it won't go together.
So basically what you're saying
Yeah.
is it'll be wrong.
Yeah. You'll end up with a different shaped cushion top, that's what I'm saying. And so you're lining that edge up there with that one and it should overhang by 1/4 inch down here.
Lovely. Yeah, Elizabeth says I have a faint memory of this being done before and being impressed by the method. It's a lovely method. It is a lovely method, absolutely. And yeah, Claire says love the big triangles method. Avoids the Y seams.
It does. I mean, you can make squares and do wide seams because, you know, Natasha can do wide seams now.
I can. Why? Because I
Okay.
tried hard.
Yeah,
And
they're not difficult, but this just makes it goes together quickly, I think. So you'll end up making 8 of these. That one faces the same way, so that shows I'm not paying attention. I'll do this one quickly. I thought I'd made my sample so that I got the right way round.
I've come to a conclusion, Jane. You know how we just keep having one of those days?
Yeah,
It suddenly occurred to me, maybe that is just life.
that's life, isn't it? It's just
I was
the way
like, hang
life
on a minute.
is.
If it keeps happening as being one of those days every day,
Yeah, that's just what life
could
is
it
like.
possibly be that, yeah, and just have a little acceptance for that? Oh, I've been asked for where's the handy to have kit? I'm just getting you the link.
I expect Gemma's working on it as we speak.
Oh, she's just beaten me to it. I've
Oh.
just found it. It's yeah, we we often have a little game of who can get there first.
Yeah,
Who sees it first thinks you won that point.
definitely.
Does not sound like Laura's having a good day today.
Oh dear, she having one of those days too.
Well, she says that Satan is farting in her face. So
Oh,
I'm going to say possibly not the best.
naughty boy. It's a cat, I think, is it?
Yes. Imagine having a cat called Satan.
Yeah. We
one
had
of
one
those
called
things, though.
Salem
Oh, did you?
after the teenage witch.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
He just arrived on my mum's doorstep, this beautiful black cat, and obviously a stray because of the state of his coat, but he had a collar on and it had been on so long and it was too tight and it had
Oh, no, cut into
cut
him.
into his neck.
Oh, bless
But he stayed
him.
with us for ages, and then one day he just disappeared.
Cats do that, don't
They
they?
do
They're
that,
funny,
yeah.
funny little things.
But he just came to us. We made him right. He stayed with us for a while, and then he went again. We called him Salem because he was completely black.
Is that a reason, a season, or a lifetime?
Is that what
They
it
say,
is?
well, they say that about friendships, don't they?
Yeah.
They're either for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Oh, right.
And you know, any of that's kind of okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just sewing this down the wrong end. Anybody watch me putting that together and think, what is she doing? No.
Well, you see, this is why I wasn't chatting to you earlier, to just let you concentrate. I should probably be quiet again rather than talking about
You
Satan
don't make it into
and
a triangle.
Salem and all sorts of other things.
You make it into a square by sewing down the two biased edges. I don't know how many times I've made this rainbow star in one form or another. You'd think I'd know by now, wouldn't you?
I like to think that we show you what not to do.
Yeah, this is how you don't do it.
And then you can just sail through merrily.
You're just like, oh yeah, I remember Jane said. Oh dear. I do stuff and I hear my teacher Chris's voice in my head sometimes saying, remember to. Right, so we're going to sew it together, that seam there, to make it into a square. And yours will sit slightly better than mine. I think slight seam allowance difference between the machines. This is what's gone on here because my diamond. And what I'm doing is I'm just lining up the seams where they meet so that I know that I'm going to get them lined up and they'll sit nicely together. You won't be able to get nestling seams unless you really think about your strip sets and which one goes which way and which one goes the other.
And let's face it, we're struggling this morning.
Well, this
so
morning
we're not
we're
going to worry about that. Not going to worry about that at all. Oh, Susie's loving your cushion as well.
Thank you, Susie.
Oh, there you go. Myra says, how are we going to learn if you always get it right?
Well, this
Exactly. Oh, I remember when we did the show before, we hung the quilt in exactly the same place. And Jane, if you look at yourself in that TV screen there.
That's it, I've got a
Oh,
halo.
you've got the punk rocker halo.
Yeah.
I love that. Go back to sewing and we can enjoy that. Yes. Oh, I'd forgotten that. It's one of those things. I think you learn the most when you get stuff wrong.
Yes, I think you do.
And that's been a
And
really
it
hard
sits-
lesson for me because
it
I'm
sits-
someone who always wants to get
yeah,
it right.
well, there are, yeah, we know who we are, the ones of us that want to do it perfectly first time. And it doesn't always work that way. And as I say, just be careful because these are biased edges. So when you're pressing it, do press it. Don't push your
Yeah.
fabric.
Margaret's just amused that the Stitchy Witch had a cat called Salem.
It wasn't my cat, to be fair. But yeah.
But whose cat is their cat? Cats
No, you don't own
humans.
cats. Yeah, you don't
You
own
know,
cats.
they don't.
So
Oh, look at this.
you're going to make 4 squares ultimately.
And they came together quickly.
Yeah. Zing. 4 squares, and then you're going to sew the squares together in pairs. And again, you're just lining it up with your seams just to make sure everything's in place before you sew.
What did you do? Twitch your nose?
Yeah.
What was that show? Bewitched.
Bewitched.
Oh, I
Tabitha.
loved Bewitched when I was
Yeah.
little. I wanted to be Tabitha, or I wanted to have a child called Tabitha. Why didn't I call Emily Tabitha? Oh, I think another thing.
Their daughter wasn't called Tabitha, was she? Yes, their daughter was called Tabitha. She was Samantha.
Yeah,
Samantha and Darren.
Yes.
And their daughter was called Tabitha.
Tabitha. Yeah. I forgot I wanted
I think it became a cat's name, didn't it, Tabitha? People were calling their tabby cats Tabitha.
Yeah, and also friends of ours had just had a child called Tabitha. So, yeah, I felt a bit weird calling. You know, you have that thing, don't you? Like, I know there are
There are names that you associate with people and you don't necessarily like the name.
Well, it was also because it just felt like we were copying them.
Yes.
And I remember someone getting really upset when we called Freddie that. Well, that's what we were going to call our son. It's like, but you're not even pregnant.
Yeah.
And I have produced.
I have one. Here, look,
So
I've already
I
made
think that
one.
means I get first dibs. It's like, but you can still call yours Freddie too. It's fine. Yeah, that's it. Samantha, Wrinkle Wrinkle. She used to wiggle her nose, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
Yeah. And what was her mother?
Gazelle.
No,
No, Gazelle just.
it wasn't Griselda. It was something like that. Someone will know. Someone will
It'll come
know.
up. It'll come up on the. Getting mixed up with the witch out of Wicked. Because she's.
Oh,
Called
that's Glenda the Good
Glenda,
Witch.
yeah.
Yeah. Tash, you'll just have to have more children so that you can have one. No.
No, we've got Captain Small. We don't want any more.
No, we do not need any more. I'll just get another horse.
She's
or
got one
something, it'll be
flavour of
fine.
each. That's it now.
Yeah, that's the perfect duo.
So
Jess said we had cats named after tropical diseases.
Nice.
Of course you did. Malaria, filaria, and a peak called Guilo, which is a Cantonese slang. All totally normal. Yes, Jess. Endora.
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 That's it. Endora.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Oh, look, everyone's Endora. Yeah, Endora.
So we've got two halves.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll show
That's
that.
okay. We've got
Make
two
it.
squares to make two halves. And then we're going to just join the halves together. And I've pressed the that seam that way and the one underneath the other way. Again, just that will help with that middle bit. And again, lining up the seams. Now I think I might have a little bit of a bow in mind because of the difference in seam allowance. But that
You
also,
gave me a great tip though. Put if it's baggy in any way, put the baggy on the bottom.
yeah, because with the feed dogs, it will pull it up somehow. I don't know how it works. Again, it's another one of those.
We don't need
things
to know. It just
does.
does.
Works. And also, this is sometimes where your bias comes in handy because you can just stretch it slightly.
Yeah, nice. I see what you've done there.
It's a little trick.
Jess says also back to business. That star. Yeah. It just shows that even the best sewists make mistakes. It shows
Everybody
that you're
makes
human.
mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, you've never made anything.
Well, do you know what? Too right. Oh, and the naughty sister was called Serena.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about the sister.
I'd forgotten that as well.
I just remember having lots of friends called Samantha and Darren at the time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because everybody was naming their children Darren or Samantha.
It goes in,
Yes,
and
it
now
trends, isn't it? You know, you hardly hear of a Darren now.
what feels strange to me, you know, when you're young and people start naming their kids certain things, it's like Kylie's, and now there's 30-year-old Kylie's running around everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember that. I remember all of that. And you just think, oh yeah. Lisa likes your top as well, just saying.
Thank you, Lisa. That's kind of you. It will be a supermarket top or from a charity shop because that's where I shop.
Hey, it all works, doesn't it?
Yeah. Somebody else, we were talking about this the other day and I said, well, it's either from a supermarket or a charity shop.
That's all right, isn't it? That works.
It works.
But I think you find a shop that, you know, sort of, like, the sizing is what the sizing does and you know what size you need, so it's just easy.
Yeah. And, you know, if the only shop you're going into is a supermarket.
That does narrow it. But
does
you
narrow
make
it.
stuff as well though, don't you?
I have.
What
don't-
did you end up with that yellow floral fabric?
I did.
You
I haven't
did?
done anything with it yet. It's
Well,
just
it's like you've
sitting
been
on the
busy.
Side, just looking at me going, come on, you're going to make me into something.
Yeah. Lo says that she also likes I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes, I remember that, but I don't remember watching that one.
Was there something about a flick of a ponytail? She said, I flick my ponytail, but nothing happens
No.
apart from putting my neck out. Yeah,
There we
that
go.
would do it.
We've got a sparkly star here.
Why wouldn't you want a sparkly
Why
star? We
not?
love a sparkly star. Oh, that's gorgeous, Jane.
That's
Good job.
come really nicely. Now, I said to you, didn't I, that we'd have quite a few left over. So you could make some more blocks and you could put it around the edge. I haven't got another one, but if you put the squares, if you put 3 squares that side and 3 there, you'd end up with it looking like it's sitting within a star type of effect. You don't get it with this. If I put it on this side, you'd have, and you'd have like a third of the star.
Oh wow.
So if I put that there, it would be like that against your star. What is it with a cushion? See if I can do it.
I'm gonna nod like I know what you're saying.
So it would sort of sit like that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So you could do that around the edge to make it bigger is what I'm thinking.
Oh right, okay.
If you wanted to, that's another thing you could do. Or you could just put a load of stars around it. Or make 4. And put them make them into a square.
Oh, Carol says that she loved making this pattern. I put borders on to make it big enough for my grandson who was announced. It's sick, Nana, which I gather is a compliment.
Yeah.
No, it is, that is.
Yeah.
No, if
Well,
something is
something's
sick,
sick,
it's absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you're all right. Kerry said that she wanted to name her little one Matilda, but ended up with Kate. Did her better given the times.
Yes. That's a
Oh, what is she
lovely
now,
name.
Kerry? Kerry's like Superwoman that manages to have a small child and
I think I gave up sewing for about 8 years. Didn't do any much at all when I had little ones.
Oh, we've got some static on a mic. Can you just check
have
your
I-
mic? Are you rubbing?
Have I tipped myself back again? No, I'm okay.
It might be that a battery has gone somewhere.
Oh,
Should we
right.
say bye-bye instead?
Well, we're done.
Are we done?
You can see what it looks like. Have a play with your colours and see what you end up with. I mean, we could have turned that in the other way. I wasn't thinking, and we could have had the sandy colour in the middle.
It could all happen.
Yeah,
It could all happen.
lovely.
Jane, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure. It's such hard work being here.
We've got lots of white noise, so we're going to go and sort that out. But
Okay.
thank you. Give everybody a wave. Thank you
Have
for watching.
Fun in the sun, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.